Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, welcome. My name is Abby. Today I am going to be sharing my experience with multiple sclerosis. A little bit, I guess, of a heavier topic today. So I have the tree behind me to add a little bit of joy, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so if you like this video and it helps you, please like. If you are enjoying my video so far, if you want to see more, please subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos. But yeah, so let's just get right into it. So as you can probably tell by the title, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis this year. That's really like the first time that I've actually said that out loud in that way, which is very interesting. I was actually diagnosed this week, which is pretty recent, but I have been going through this process for the past like 8 months or so, maybe 9 months now, and basically the whole time we were pretty sure that this is what it was. Let's just like get into, I guess, a bit of like the scientific explanation of what multiple sclerosis is in case you don't already know. Basically, multiple sclerosis, which I'm probably going to say as MS from now on because multiple sclerosis is such a tongue twister for me for some reason. It's so stupid. I don't know. So MS is a autoimmune disease which it attacks the central nervous system, which is what like makes up your brain and your spinal cord. It attacks your myelin, which is the protective covering of your nerve cells. This like can cause inflammation and can damage the covering, which can eventually affect the nerves. Depending on like the severity of the damage, you have all kinds of symptoms. It interrupts like nerve impulses, which means you don't work properly. I don't know, like, because your nerves are like make up what you do and like how you move and all that kind of stuff. So if that's interrupted, then you have a bit of a disability with things that you do. And again, it's very different for everybody. That's kind of the problem with MS is it's very unpredictable. Every single case is very individual. There's no like one size fits all. The only thing is that like there's a lot of like telltale symptoms. It just affects everybody differently. It happens faster to people than others, and there's a few different types. I have the relapse and remit case, which is what like 85% of people diagnosed with MS have. It means that my symptoms will occur as like flare-ups or attacks. So they will happen all of a sudden out of nowhere most of the time and last for anywhere from a few days, a few weeks, a few months. It really just depends. And you don't really get to know, which is great. And there are certain things that you can do, but there's no cure for MS and there's no really effective treatment as of yet for these flare-ups, especially because they're so different all the time. So you can have numbness. Some people I've heard have numbness through like half of their body. Some people will just lose like feeling in one limb. Some people have disabilities with walking and can end up in a wheelchair eventually if they have like the progressive type, which means it's like developing quickly and severely, which is really unfortunate. You get a lot of like extreme fatigue. So people with MS will typically be a lot more tired than other people. Just their body feels weaker. It feels like you're like pulling yourself to do a lot of things sometimes. It can have vision problems, confusion. It's obviously extremely fun. So I guess I should just go back to the beginning of this process and explain my symptoms and how I came to find out that this is what it was. So April of this year, 2019, I started a new job as a server downtown Toronto. I went through my first week of training and then I took a streetcar to work on a Monday. And I just remember walking to the streetcar stop and signs looked a little bit blurry, but I thought it was just because like, you know, like eyes just do things. Like sometimes you have something in your eye that you can't feel, things happen, whatever. So I was just like, okay, like I think I'm okay. And then I was looking out the streetcar window and it was just causing strain and pressure on my eyes. So I stopped doing that. And when I got off the streetcar, I crossed the street and I decided that this day I was going to go through the building that my work is in, and like figure out how to get there through the path. Downtown Toronto has a path, which is an underground network. It's basically like a shopping mall underground, so you can get to places without, like, it's connected to subways and things like that, and you don't need to go like in the snow. So super excited to try that out for whenever winter would come. Funny story though, because I don't work there anymore, and it's winter, so that sucks. But anyways, so I remember I really had to pee, and I think I had to be at work in like 5 minutes. So I ran into the building, asked someone how to get to the bathroom. They showed me. I had to go down another level. I think I found the bathroom because it was like straight ahead, but I realized, like, and even when I came out, I realized I was trying to find my way, and the signs were very blurry. I couldn't make almost any of them out, and there were 2 of everyone, which was extremely bizarre. And I thought maybe I was like seeing a mirror or a window and it was reflections of people, but no, there was 2 of everyone, which was insane. So I spent like, I don't even know how long trying to get through this area, trying to even like find my work because I'd never done it before. And I ended up going back up to street level, and I was like pretty sure I knew where I was coming out, but I came out of a different part of the street. So I was very confused. I didn't really know where I was, and I was still new to downtown Toronto, so it was like a very bizarre experience. And I think I was like texting Chris this whole time, babe, like, something's not right. Like, I should not be, like, this should not be happening. I don't think I can work right now. So we decided I was going to call in. So I went outside and I called my manager, told her that, like, I'm sorry, I'm seeing 2 of everything. I don't feel okay. I'm going to need to, like, call in for today. And I was like, started crying because I was very overwhelmed, super embarrassing at the time. And then I decided to look online for like a walk-in clinic so I could get to a doctor. And I found out that there's actually one like right underneath me in the path somewhere. So I went back down and tried my best, and I finally found the walk-in clinic. I think I went in circles like 20 times. Funny enough, the walk-in clinic was directly beside the door to my work. So that was really funny, and so now I knew where I was. Checked in, I went to the doctor, explained all my symptoms. I was talking about how like signs were really weird when I was looking at them. It felt like the letters were like moving, but I think it's because of the way like I was moving my eyes to try to focus. And he decided to have someone take me out and do one of like the eye tests. Close this eye, and everything was fine and normal and I could see it. But then when I would try without covering my eye, I couldn't see. Like, everything was moving around. It was like almost like moving in like a bit of a circle. Every time I blinked, it would be in a different spot. And I had a little bit of like an emotional like breakdown because I was like, what the hell? Why can't I see? Am I going blind? Like, what's happening? So he basically told me, like, he can't do anything for me here. He has no idea, like, what it could be, and I should probably go to the hospital to get checked out. I called Chris, let him know what's going on. He left work, came home and picked me up, and we went to Oakville to the hospital. I checked tested for like over an hour. So my medication, I used my medication, I don't even know what it was. I was trying to leave it away, and it didn't help. So she told me, like, if it doesn't go away, then I should go to the hospital. So I went home, I stayed home for the next day. I stayed home all day. I found the sun's at home because things started moving around me. It was left, like, when they were moving, I was in the process of probably didn't test out. So I just wanted to check one more day and see if like, it was back. Next day I wake up, it's not. So I went to work. We went to the hospital here, actually the hospital straight. So we went to the hospital, I was pretty away. They did a CT scan, I have blood work, and with CT scan, unfortunately, because there was a tumor actually. Apparently I had some like huge tumor, like an off but thankfully no tumor on those scans. And I mean, after a while I had an exam for but when this MRI happened, I no longer had double vision. My double vision probably lasted about a week to a week and a half. And then I was like totally fine for like a month or 2. And then it came back right before I went to San Francisco with Chris on his work trip. So that really sucked. But we figured out that that was it's called a palsy of the 6th nerve. So after getting MRIs, I found out that I had lesions in my brain, which still not totally clear what they are, but basically it's like damaged like material in your brain. And they're like little white spots on the MRI. And so there was a lesion on my 6th nerve, something like that, that was inflamed and essentially like flaring up. So that's what was happening. It was like pushing on that. So that could be a symptom that I face in the future. It could come back. But I actually had that for, I think, from June until the end of August. So a few months. I haven't had it since that, which has been nice for sure. You realize you take your vision for granted. My first appointment with the neurologist, he showed me the MRIs, was talking to me about all my symptoms and things, and he right away pretty much was like, yeah, it's probably MS. We don't want it to be that. We're going to do other scans to find out, hopefully, that it's not. So we did a cervical spine MRI, which is, I believe, like this portion here. So you can see like my brain stem into like my spinal cord. And if there's a lesion there, that's like kind of a really bad sign of how your MS symptoms are going to go in the future. Fortunately, I didn't have any of those. So we were going to do a spinal tap, but something happened and it never worked out. So we waited for a while and I had my next like follow-up appointment, I think in November. Basically, like while this was all happening, while I was having the double vision, my right arm started to go a bit numb. And I don't know how to describe this feeling, but my arm just felt weird to the touch. And when I was doing certain like workouts, it just felt strange. And it went down into my forearm, into my hand, into my fingers. And I was still able to use my fingers and everything like without a problem. But it just felt weird. And at that time it was super frustrating because you're like, what the hell is wrong with me? But eventually that went away, but it lingered in my like fingertips, these two, for quite a while. It feels a lot better now, but I don't know if I'm just like used to it, like compared to these. I'm not sure. But that went away probably like a couple of weeks after. The other sign that I've had is, I don't know how to pronounce this, and everybody that I've heard say this says it differently, but I will put the word here, and it is Lhermitte's sign? Lhermite's sign? I'm not really sure. Basically what it is, when you bend your neck forward, there's a bit of a sensation. I think for a lot of people it's actually painful. I'm very thankful that mine is not painful, at least not yet. But when you bend your head forward, a sensation goes through. It can be through your legs, through your arms. For me, it varies. It's like this very weird like buzzing feeling that kind of goes a little bit down my back and into my leg, usually stops just below the knee. And it's not like debilitating or anything like that. It just feels strange. And sometimes it switches and goes through my right arm and into my hand, especially into my palm. I've had this weird thing happen twice now, one just like a week ago, where I flipped my head over to rub in my dry shampoo and this arm completely went numb, just like dropped. I felt it coming. I started crying because I was just so overwhelmed, like what the heck is going on with me? Actually, after like 4 minutes, it went away. It was just like kind of very shocking. So I haven't really been like flipping my hair over to rub in my dry shampoo anymore. But one day I was in the shower and I flipped my hair over to like put hair in the towel, and it happened again. And this time I knew what it was, so I was able to like breathe through it and keep calm. Fortunately, like Chris was home both times, so like he really helped like ground me, just because like he brings me into reality, right? Because someone else is there. But yeah, so those are all of the signs that I've experienced so far, other than I get like really fatigued sometimes, especially like when I'm in between meals. If I haven't eaten in a while, I think like my fatigue, my body wanting food, is just a little bit stronger than other people's, which makes so much sense to me now. I thought it was like a blood pressure thing, a blood sugar thing, thought like something was wrong with me. When I would get really hungry, I felt really crappy. I get very weak. I felt very frail and shaky. Sometimes nauseous, and people didn't really get that. But now I understand why it's happening to me. And I've done all of these blood tests, so I know I am not anemic. I don't have low iron. I actually have high B12 levels. These are all of the classic things that people check for when you have really low energy. My blood sugar's fine. I'm not even pre-diabetic, anything like that. So the conclusion is that this has to be like MS fatigue, which is a classic like symptom. That is my experience up until almost now. I've done another MRI, and he has ordered 2 more MRIs. I have to go to get the cervical spine done again, and then I believe doing the full spine as well. You have to do them in separate appointments. You can't do that much of your body at the same time because of, I think, like radiation. I'm like excited to see, because I want to know if anything else is going on in there. If there's lesions on my spine, that's like a really shitty sign. I think it means that like things are going to be harder than we think they're going to be. Last time I did the cervical spine, there were no lesions there. I know there was one like very close to my brain stem, which is why he wanted to check. But I don't think he saw anything else, which is good. But when I had my most recent MRI done, there were some new lesions, and some that were, I think there was like one for sure that was new. They inject a contrast into you so that like near the end, so if anything like lights up, that means it's new. And I think there's only one that was new. There were a few that looked maybe like they were a little bit bigger or just more like pronounced than they were in the first one 6 months ago. So that's where he was pretty much able to confirm that this is MS. We don't need to do the spinal tap because the lesions have developed. So plan of action now, I have new doctor's appointments. We did more blood tests. So we found out like we pretty much ruled out lupus, Lyme disease. There's nothing wrong with my thyroid, nothing wrong with my kidneys, my liver. There's like literally nothing else wrong with me, which is like very good news because I literally thought like my body was like deteriorating. Like, you know, you just get into your head, especially when you have anxiety. You create all worst case scenarios. But everything is normal, which means the only explanation really is MS. So with that diagnosis, I will now be taking a daily medication. I'm assuming that I will be taking medication every day for the rest of my life. It really depends how this develops. If we start the medication now, this could just stay where it is and not get much worse, which would be the ideal situation, of course. So basically what we thought was best case for me is the like middle dose, which is called Tecfidera. It's an oral tablet, which I will be taking every day, twice a day, for the foreseen future. Like, I have no idea how long, but I'm assuming forever pretty much at this point, as long as it works well. So that's like a medium dose, which is what we wanted because we didn't need anything too aggressive. With the more aggressive the medication, the much worse the side effects are. And with how mine's going, he doesn't think we need to do that right now. So we're doing like a middle dose. So my side effects with Tecfidera, just putting it out there, for the first month or so, I may experience flushing and diarrhea, which honestly I think those are very manageable. Obviously nobody wants to experience those things, but out of all the other things I saw, like this is fine. I'll be fine. I should be able to work, should be able to live like a fairly normal life. But I just wanted to like make sure you're aware of this because I don't think a lot of people know. For me, for this medication, this is just on the lower end of what these medications cost. I have to take 2 of these pills a day. Each pill is $150. Excuse me. That means I will be taking $300 worth of medication a day and $9,000 worth a month and $109,000 a year. I don't even make like a fourth of that in a year. I am a 23-year-old recent university graduate working as a server in downtown Toronto, where all my money pays my half of the rent and then my bills. How the hell do they expect people to pay for this? What my doctor said is that they don't expect people to pay for this. They price it because they know if you have insurance, insurance will cover it. If you don't, you have to go through this process, which is a little bit more work for the doctor, but of course they will do it. They have to fill out a lot of paperwork, run a lot of tests, and submit a lot of proof showing that this is like absolutely what's happening and you absolutely need this medication. And I guess they cover you based on like a compassionate ground. But basically my doctor and my neurologist told me that no matter what, even if I didn't get benefits, which I fortunately did very recently, I wouldn't be paying for this. So that is something that apparently you do not need to fear, at least if you live in Ontario. And I'm not sure how it works for all of Canada because we work on like provincial governments for the most part. But yeah, so that's like a bit insane. Like getting these medications are a little bit different. You don't get to go to the pharmacy and just pick it up like your like birth control or regular like prescriptions. I will be contacted by a drug rep like anytime now, and they send you the drugs like on their own. So I will have to wait for that to come. I'm not sure how frequently they send it, and they will walk me through how to start taking them and everything. Like they will tell me everything about it. Yeah, so he told me that I should probably be starting it within like the month or so, which is very like interesting. I'm happy because I obviously want this to stop in its tracks. Apparently this medication can help prevent about like 50% of your attacks and can help prevent the like progression of this disease and the damage that it causes. But again, there's no cure for MS, unfortunately, as there are no cures for a lot of things out there, which is super unfortunate, but they're getting closer and closer every day. If I had been diagnosed with this even 10 years ago, like my odds of a normal and functional life would have been a lot more slim. So I'm feeling very lucky that this is the case, and I'm really optimistic and hopeful that in the future there will be better treatments and maybe even a cure. Maybe at least they'll figure out what causes this because they don't even know that yet. But basically this is my experience. I wanted to tell it because I want to try to make it as normal as possible to people. I want you to understand more like what is actually happening. I read online that a lot of people either think that if you have MS, either you are like disabled, basically it's like a death sentence and all of that, and then but if not, if you're like highly functioning like I am so far, and you experience flare-ups that a lot of people don't see, they think that nothing's wrong with you and that you're not going through anything, and that's not cool either. I think people just need to really be aware that it's a very individual disease. Every symptom is different. Even if we are not relapsed, we're going through a lot. Our mind is constantly turning, wondering, oh my God, is that another symptom? Is another flare-up gonna happen? Is this gonna get worse? Where am I gonna be in a few years? And it just goes and goes and goes. And so there's a lot of mental health problems that come with this as well. Especially I've learned like depression can be a sign of that. So I don't know, I'm just trying to do everything I possibly can in my life right now to distract myself so that I'm not thinking too much about it, because I will spiral and I will get upset. I've really only gotten upset about this, I would probably say like 4 times since it happened. I'd say 2 of them have happened most recently. I got a little bit upset a couple of days after I found out. Well, I guess I found out Wednesday, so I think it was like yesterday. I got like pretty upset thinking about it because I was like holy shit, like this is my life now. It's like just really weird and surreal. There's nothing you can do about it, which is frustrating. But I'm just constantly going with the flow and just trying to be distracted, understand that like I'm fine right now. I'm functional. I should be okay. I love my doctor. He lets me ask every question I want, and he comes back and knows that I want the scientific answers. I want the terminology. I want to know exactly what is going on with me and what exactly I can do. But unfortunately with MS, there's not anything you can do. There's no magical diet change that can help with a lot of other things that are out there. A lot of times you change your diet and you can be fixed. There's nothing proven right now. A lot of things I've seen have been like a paleo-based diet or a Mediterranean diet. I'm not sure like what to believe, and with the problems that I have with eating, I'm not trying to go into any kind of restricted diet, at least not yet. My goal is definitely to be like improving my diet, because I've learned that the better that I feel on a regular basis, the better able I am to like function. And if these flare-ups do happen, if I'm feeling okay and I'm putting the work in my body to feel healthy and strong, then maybe I will be able to like deal with these flare-ups better. Just wanted to say as well, I'm making this video like because I started a YouTube channel. I want to share my life. If I'm talking about like feeling extremely tired or like something's wrong with me, my arm is numb, something like that in a future video, and I want people to understand why and what's going on, and it's just easier to get it all done in one video. And then the other reason is because I definitely would like to use like any voice that I might have right now to maybe help anybody that might be feeling the same way that I felt, maybe having similar symptoms. If you're going to the doctors and they're turning you away and saying nothing's wrong with you, which happens like the majority of the time with MS, because so many things mimic MS, and a lot of times doctors are like, no, it's not that, you're fine. And it's really hard in Canada to get sent for MRIs and the proper testing that you want and that you need. So hopefully I can sit here, tell you what happened to me, tell you my processes, and then you can do your own research and go to your doctor and say, listen, this is what's going on. I think this is what needs to be checked for, and you can take control of your own health, because I think that's extremely important, because we're not paying a lot of money. They take care of us, but honestly they're rushing to their next patient, and that's just the like reality. You're very lucky if you have a great doctor that doesn't do that. I'm very lucky that I got a very good neurologist. But anyways, I'm rambling. I want to help people. I want you to see my story, and I want you to go get help if you think you have this and this helps you determine that you don't have it. If you think that something's wrong with you and you have a lot of these symptoms, I really want you to go get checked, because the faster you catch this, the better your chances are at living like a normal, completely functional life. So yeah, this is absolutely not for sympathy. I hope people realize that I couldn't care less if you feel bad for me. This is my life now. I think almost everybody has something wrong with them physically, and this is, I guess, just my thing. I don't know, I'm just kind of accepting it for what it is. I think that's where I'm gonna end this. I've talked for forever and I want to get this video up within like an hour or two. Wish me luck. I would like to just take a moment, because it is the holiday season, to direct you to the description box below, where I have posted a link to the MS Society of Canada website where you could make a donation if you were interested. It is the holiday season of giving. I know a lot of people like to donate to charities at this time, so if that was something that you were thinking about, you might consider donating to MS research so we can hopefully find a cure, or at least understand more about like what's going on with us. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's very long. Hopefully I can help people. If you are going through anything similar, if this helps you, I would love to hear from you in the comments. I definitely want to try my best to make this a community where we can talk to each other. We are like less than 2 weeks away from 2020, and in 2020 we don't feel alone anymore, okay? Like, you can open an app on your phone and have access to the entire world, so there's no more thinking that no one knows what we're going through and not being able to talk about what we're going through. We are open, we are happy and as healthy as we can be, and we're talking, we're communicating. I'd absolutely love if you'd comment below. Let's talk, let's make an open dialogue. Let's get rid of stigmas on health and diseases and mental health issues, because that's one of my ultimate goals with this channel. Sorry, I didn't make like a script for this, so I'm just like, whenever I think of something, I'm just saying it. So thank you again. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Maybe not so heavy, but like some more sit down talks. And if you want to watch like my vlogs, see what I'm doing every day, yes, that would be great. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my vlog on Tuesday.